We go straight from the gut, right, sir? That's where the truth lies, right down here in the gut. Do you know you have more nerve endings in your gut than you have in your head? You can look it up. Now I know some of you are going to say I did look it up, and that's not true. That's because you looked it up in a book. Next time, look it up in your gut.
Well, that was from the White House Correspondents' Dinner back when George W. Bush was president. Frighteningly, life seems to be imitating art. Now, we all know probably somebody that obviously Mr. Colbert was parroting there, short on facts, yet still very long on confidence, even though they are, well, incompetent. Now, we see a celebration of ignorance in pop culture and, unfortunately, in D.C., which might actually be Exhibit A. And this has a name. It's called the Dunning-Kruger Effect. It's a study that came out back in 1999, but it has new resonance as we speak today. And my new guest, he co-authored the report. Joining me now, David Dunning, professor of psychology at the University of Michigan. First off, did you think 20 years later almost that we'd be talking about this report, I guess, with even more resonance than you did then?
Not at all. In fact, I didn't think it was going to get published in the first place. When it became a celebrated idea, that was a little less of a surprise, but it's an idea that refuses to die. And that's the big surprise, let's say, in my life.
This is, you guys proved axioms that have been going back down to the greatest philosophers, to Charles Darwin. The only true wisdom is knowing you know nothing. Ignorance more frequently begets confidence than does knowledge. You just proved it, but even you were shocked by your findings as to how some of the lowest performers on tests consistently, almost without exception, thought they did the best on them.
Well, they didn't necessarily think they did the best, but they thought they did almost as well as the people doing the best. That is, they were almost as confident as people who actually showed real, true expertise in what they were reporting. But that in itself was a shock. I mean, these are people who are performing down in the, let's say, 15th percentile. They're only beating out about 14% of their peers, but they think they're beating out 60, 70% of their peers in how well they're doing the tasks we gave them.
Obviously, so much of this resonance, as you know, because, David, of the president and some of the rationales for what he says and the reasoning he gives behind him. He often says he has the best words. Whenever questioned, he says he has the greatest intellect. He says he knows more than his generals, having not served in the military. He says he knows more about foreign policy, despite not reading briefing books. I can go on and on. It's really, at this point, settled that he's driving things off of his gut more than any president, certainly before him. But what's stunning to a lot of folks is the amount of falsehood said, but with the utter confidence in which they're delivered. Did you get a sense in your study that people who so casually will throw out unsourced things and state empirically that they're fact, do they actually believe it? Or are they really covering up for the fact that they know they don't know what they're talking about?
Well, our work suggests that people believe what they say, and that's why they say it. People are very good at knowing when they really don't know something or just simply guessing. The problem is that a lot of the time people aren't guessing; they know something. It turns out that the something they know is utterly false, and so they express a confidence that looks like they know the truth, when in fact what they're saying is exactly not the truth. And the key about this effect, I should add, is that some of us might be more flamboyant than others in expressing it, but this is an effect that visits all of us sooner or later at some point in our lives, and we may not necessarily catch it when it's happening to us.
Do you believe that part of the surprise of 16 with the election was that not only did Trump resonate with the electorate we know, but that some of the electorate saw in him what they liked, in that, you know, you can give your opinion and you don't have to back it up, but, you know, that validated in many ways what they like. That guy at the Thanksgiving table who's just going on and on about something he clearly has nothing, no basis on, but he says it more confidently than anyone at the table.
Oh yeah, I mean, as Americans, actually as humans, we look to confidence to lead us. We're going to follow a person who's confident, and we just assume that the confidence is backed up by facts and the truth. So it's not a surprise that a lot of people resonated with Donald Trump. He was sort of, in some sense, an American ideal in terms of how he believed things, and in particular, how he believed things that came from the gut. Now, the thing about following your gut is a good thing if you're a true expert. The problem is that not all of us are true experts. So it does pay to think about things a little while, because if you think about things a little while, involve your head as well as your gut, now you have two possible answers often that you can choose between, and that helps to become more accurate rather than just going with the one answer your gut gives you.
Well, I certainly appreciate the time. I'm still petrified for the future, David, but I appreciate both not only the study, a little bit of an explanation, but also a look possibly where we may be going. Thank you very much.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
And we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll wrap things up. Please stay with us.